Hey guys, this is a basic introduction to interval notation with graphing simple inequalities. So interval notation is a way to write a solution set to an inequality using infinite symbols, parentheses, and brackets. And it's going to be really important to look at parentheses are going to indicate that it is not included or it's an open circle. We also use those less than, greater than 2 signs. When we talk about brackets, brackets are going to indicate that the answers are included. It's a closed circle, and we're going to talk about bringing in that equals to when we talk about our inequalities. Infinity indicates that the solution set keeps going and going and going and going, and as a result, we are going to be using parentheses sets on that because it's not a defined value. So let's go back and let's just do a couple and we'll write some interval notation. So first thing, it says x is less than 4. We're going to just do some basic graphing. So I'm going to go to 4. I'm going to put a reference 0. It is less than, so it is an open circle. And we're going to go to numbers that are less than 4, such as 0. And we're going to shade in this direction. Now, when I shade, I'm going to keep shading and shading and shading all the way until I'm working down towards negative infinity. So now we can write this interval notation off of this. Well, our solution set would be from negative infinity with the parenthesis, because it's not a defined number, all the way up to the value of 4. And you'll notice that that 4 has an open circle, so we get a parenthesis. Now, it does look kind of like a coordinate pair, but point, but it's not. It's actually saying from negative infinity to 4 is all the solutions that make this inequality true. So let's go ahead and try another one. We go x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I'm going to put negative 6. I know that when I use negative 6, it's going to be a closed circle because of the equals. And we're looking for a reference number such as 0. And 0 is greater than negative 6. That is true. So we're going to shade to the right this time. And it's going to keep going and going and going all the way to positive infinity. Now, when we write this interval notation, I'm going to start at negative 6, the least number, the smallest number, which is negative 6. It is a closed circle, so I'm going to indicate that with a bracket because negative 6 is a solution to the inequality. And then I'm going to go all the way up to infinity. And once again, infinity gets a parenthesis because it's not a defined number. Let's go ahead and jump down and we'll look at a different one. Let's go ahead and look at the last one here. If we look at that last one, we're going to be looking at the interval between negative 3 and 5. So that would be negative 3 with an open circle. We'd go to 5 with a closed circle, put a reference like 0 in there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say all the x's that are greater than negative 3. Well, all the x's that are greater than negative 3, that reference is 0. 0 is greater than negative 3, so we're going to shade in that direction. Okay, and then it also says, and all the numbers that are less than or equal to 5. So less than or equal to 5, that is this direction. We know that the solution set is we're going to be where they completely overlap. So that's going to be between negative 3 and 5 is where they overlap. Notice in this case, there is no negative infinity. There is no positive infinity. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the least number. We're going to write the interval with the least number, which is negative 3. Notice negative 3 is an open circle because there is no equals to. I'm going to put a parenthesis. And then it goes all the way up to 5. Notice that 5 is a closed circle because of that equals, and we're going to put a bracket. That's how we're going to write interval notation. So you have a couple examples there of how we write with negative infinity. We had an example of how we write it with positive infinity. And then we have a example where we start with one number and go to another number. All right, hopes that helps with basic interval notation.